Hello students, good morning. In yesterday's class, we completed sex determination mechanisms in different groups of organisms. We have seen what is the basis behind sex determination in different groups of organisms. Fine. So yesterday we have completed that part. Now, today in this session, we are going to start the new part, that is mutation. Fine. So very important part as well as very interesting. Okay, that is mutations. Fine. Many a times you might have heard this word mutations. Can you tell me what is mean by mutation? Fine. So mutations, these are the sudden heritable changes which takes place in the genetic material. Fine. Due to number of agents. Fine. There may be biological agents, there may be chemical agents, or there may be physical agents. Those substances which are able to induce mutations, these are called as mutagens. So in the next class, we will see what are the different mutagens also. Fine. So mutation, it is what? It is a sudden. It is not a predetermined event. In case of cell cycle, everything it is fixed what type of events will occur. But these mutations are not prefixed. These are random. These are sudden mutations. Fine. So these are the sudden, okay, then continuous mutation, as well as they are heritable. They can be passed from one generation to the next generation if it occurs in a germinal cell. Fine. So let's see what is mean by mutation and what are the types of mutations. Fine. So mutations are sudden heritable changes. Mutations, sudden. These are sudden, heritable changes in the genetic material, of an organism, Fine. So these are known as mutations. As I told you, there are number of agents which can induce mutation. These are known as, yes, mutagens. Based on whether it takes place naturally or whether mutations are artificially induced, mutations can be classified as natural mutation or spontaneous mutation and induced mutation. Fine. So these are the sudden heritable changes which are taking place in the genetic material of an organism. Because of this, there is a change in the phenotype of an organism. This leads to change in the phenotype of an organism. Lead to change in the phenotype of an organism. Yes, now as I told you, these mutations could take place naturally. Okay, for evolution, mutations are important. Mutations lead to speciation. It results into discontinuous variations, and variations leads to evolution. So mutation, it is a source of discontinuous variation. Fine. Mutation is a source of discontinuous variations. Mutations are the sources of discontinuous variations. Fine. Now, mutations can occur naturally, okay, or they can be artificially induced. So mutation can be natural mutations, okay, natural, also called as spontaneous, and those mutations we artificially induced, these are known as induced mutation. Okay, so mutations could be of two types: natural mutations, which are also called as spontaneous mutations, induced mutation, or artificial mutations. Now, substances which are responsible to cause mutations, these are called mutagens. On mutagens we will have another lecture for that, because that part it is equally important. Substances causing mutations, substances causing mutations are called mutagens. These are called mutagens or mutagenic agents. These are called mutagens or mutagenic agents. Fine. Now these substances, they may be biological, they may be physical, or they may be chemical. Fine. So in the next class we will see in detail what are the different types of mutagens and in what way they affect the genetic material. Fine. Now, if these mutations occur in the germ cells, that is in reproductive cells, then these mutations could be transferred to the next generation. So in that case we call them as a heritable mutations. But if these mutations occur in a somatic cell, that is normal body cell, non-reproductive cells, fine, then these are non-heritable. Fine. So mutations if occur in germinal cells, then these are heritable. Fine. If occur in somatic cells, that is our non-reproductive cells, fine, these are non-heritable. In case of plants which are vegetatively reproducing, in them mutations in somatic cells also, they are heritable, because whenever we are using this plant for the vegetative propagation, obviously that time the parent plant will give rise to new plants. So if there is any mutation in the normal cell also, that can be transferred to the next generation. So somatic cells of plants reproduced by vegetative propagation, okay, it is heritable. So in that case, that character can be transferred to the next generation. So which types of mutations we discussed? First one, mutation could be spontaneous or it could be natural, and the second one, that is artificial or induced. Substances which are responsible to cause mutations, they are known as mutagens. These mutagens, they may be physical, chemical or biological. Fine. If mutation occur in a germ cell, in your reproductive cell at the time of egg formation or sperm formation or during fertilization, okay, then these mutations are heritable. Okay. If these mutations takes place in a somatic cell, that is normal body cell, non-reproductive cell, then these mutations are non-heritable. But in plants which are reproducing by vegetative propagation, mutations which occur in somatic cell, they can be also considered as, yes, heritable mutations. Fine. Now, next part. Mutation word was coined by Hugo de Vries. Several scientists perform experiments to see what are the effects or what results we obtain by inducing mutagens or by inducing different types of mutations. So some important experiments we will see. So term mutation was given by Hugo de Vries. Term mutation given by Hugo de Vries. Okay, he worked on, yes, evening primrose. So on which plant he worked on Oenothera. He worked on Oenothera, Lamarckiana, Lamarckiana, that is your evening primrose. Okay, so Hugo de Vries, he gave the term mutation. He worked on the evening primrose, that is your Oenothera lamarckiana. Afterward, two more important scientists who contributed at a big cost in the field of mutation, that is Biddle and Tatum. Biddle and Tatum. MCQ comes on this. Biddle and Tatum gave the concept of one gene, one enzyme. One gene, one enzyme concept was given by Biddle and Tatum. Definitely this question in every MCQ book you will get, as well as this question can be asked. So this part, that is one gene, one enzyme concept was given by who? That is by Biddle and Tatum. Now these Biddle and Tatum, they induced mutation, or they worked on your Neurospora. Fine. Neurospora, we know it is a ascomycete, it is a fungus. So they induce X-rays and gamma rays, UV rays on this Neurospora strain, and they found some results. Now let's see what type of experiment they perform. They induced mutation on Neurospora, induced mutation on Neurospora. If you can recall, it is known as Cinderella of plant kingdom. Okay, so induced mutation. Okay, Neurospora, it is known as Drosophila of plant kingdom. So induced mutation, Neurospora, ascomycete it is, and they used X-rays or UV rays. UV and X-rays. Fine. So they use Neurospora for their experiment. Now what happened when they induced mutation? So the strain of Neurospora they took, Neurospora, that was the wild strain. Neurospora wild strain they took for their experiment. Okay, and that was when exposed to UV rays. When they expose the wild strain of Neurospora to UV rays, that strain was converted into mutant strain, converted into mutant Neurospora. Fine. Now just try to understand what happens that time. Fine. Now see, they use wild Neurospora strain for their experiment. They expose this wild Neurospora to the UV rays and then convert it into mutant Neurospora. Now what type of changes they observe? The wild Neurospora, they called this strain as a auxotroph. Fine. They called this strain as a prototroph. Okay, and the mutant Neurospora, they call them as auxotroph. Yes, sir. Now the wild Neurospora was able to grow on a minimal medium. Yes, sir. If there are no nutrients, or if there are very little amount of nutrients in the culture medium, then also wild Neurospora was able to grow. Fine. This is why, because the enzymes which are responsible for synthesis of nutrients were functional. Okay, so wild Neurospora, they called it as a prototroph. This can be also asked for MCQ. Prototroph, it is a strain which can grow on a minimal nutrient medium because they have functional genes for synthesis of own nutrients. Fine. So although there is a less amount of nutrients in the culture medium, this strain can grow effectively. So such strain, it is known as prototroph. You have to remember this. MCQ can come on this part. Fine. So prototroph, it is a strain which can grow on minimal nutrients which are present in the nutrient medium because they have functional genes for synthesis of their own nutrients. Whereas now when this neurospora got exposed to ultraviolet rays, UV rays act on the DNA, they damage the DNA, fine. So because of this, the genes got damaged. So those genes which were involved in the synthesis of nutrients got damaged. So the mutant neurospora or auxotroph strain was not able to grow efficiently on a minimal medium because genes required for synthesis of nutrients were damaged due to exposure of UV rays. So prototroph means this is a wild strain which can grow on the minimal nutrient medium. Okay? They have normal functioning genes which can synthesize own nutrients, whereas mutant neurospora, for which they called as auxotroph, those strains were not able to grow on a medium with minimal nutrients. Okay? Because of exposure to ultraviolet rays, the genes got damaged. Okay? So enzymes were not present for synthesis of those nutrients. So from this observation, they gave the concept of one gene, one enzyme. So one gene, one enzyme concept proposed by whom? This concept was proposed by Bedel and Tatum. They worked on the neurospora. They exposed the wild strain of neurospora, okay, to ultraviolet rays, and then that strain converted into mutant one. The wild strain, it is known as prototroph, whereas the mutant one, it is known as auxotroph. Fine. Just mention all the things in your notes. So prototroph and auxotroph. They gave concept of one gene and one enzyme. Fine. So I hope you have understood and you can write by your own. If you want, I will write it again. So prototroph, that is a normal neurospora, can grow. Prototroph, normal neurospora can grow on minimal medium because it can make all essential nutrients. It can make all essential nutrients. It cannot grow on a minimal medium, because of damage to genes, when exposed to UV rays. Fine. So when they are exposed to UV rays, that causes damage to the genes. Fine. So this was the experiment. After that, one more scientist who contributed in the field of mutation, that is M.S. Swaminathan. You learned this in the strategies lesson, that he induced gamma mutation on wheat to produce high yielding varieties of wheat. Yes, if you can recall those varieties. Yes, M.S. Swaminathan, Dr. M.S. Swaminathan, he has very huge contribution. Okay, in the field of mutation. He induced gamma mutation in wheat to produce huge number of high yielding wheat varieties. So his reference also we have to note down. So M.S. Swaminathan induced mutations in wheat by gamma rays, to obtain good varieties. Fine. Examples like your Sharbati Sona, then Sonora. Okay, so MS Swaminathan. So this is some general information regarding mutation. Now after this we'll start the actual part, that is the types of mutations. Okay, very important part, types of mutations. Fine. So without wasting time, now let's start the types of mutations. Okay, chalo. Types of mutations. So as I told you, mutation, it is any type of damage which is caused to either DNA or to the chromosome. So based upon that, whether gene it is damaged, whether DNA is damaged, whether chromosome is damaged, okay, these mutations can be broadly classified under two headings, that is gene mutation and chromosomal mutation. Fine. So types of mutations. Types of mutations. All mutations are broadly classified in two types: chromosomal mutations and gene mutation. These are two broad groups of mutations: chromosomal mutations and gene mutation. Those mutations which occur on a chromosome, they are known as chromosomal mutations, whereas mutations which occur on a gene, that is known as gene mutation. Fine. Now chromosomal mutations are, again, they could be structural or numerical mutations. Fine. Okay. Chromosomal mutation, they may be numerical. Chromosomal mutations, chromosomal mutations, or structural. Okay, structural mutation. So these structural mutations are also known as chromosomal aberrations. Fine. Just try to understand difference between two genes. Whenever mutation occurs with respect to number of chromosomes, means either more or less than the normal complement, that is known as numerical. So mutations related with the number of chromosome, that is known as numerical chromosomal mutation. Mutations which are related with the structure of chromosome, okay, if there is any change in the structure of chromosome than the normal structure, that is known as structural mutation. These are also known as chromosomal aberrations. Fine. So numerical chromosomal mutations and structural chromosomal mutation. That part I am not writing now. First we will complete this and then we will move to one. Or if okay, fine, we will make the basic chart for this. Numerical or chromosomal mutations, they are again of two types. Whether there is an increase in the number of chromosomes or whether there is a decrease of the number of chromosomes. So depend upon that, numerical chromosomal mutations are again of two types. Okay, these numerical chromosome mutations are also known as hyperploidy. Okay, this is also known as heteroploidy. Hyper, it is for ploidy. Heteroploidy. Now these numerical chromosomal mutations, they are again of two types. Fine. The first one, that is known as euploidy, and second one, it is known as aneuploidy. Okay, euploidy and aneuploidy. Fine. What we are doing, we are going in a sequential way. Fine. Chromosomal mutations, gene mutation, These are the two broad classes of mutation. Those mutations which occur on chromosomes, they are known as chromosomal mutations. Mutations which occur on the structure of gene, that is known as gene mutation. Chromosomal mutation, they may be numerical or they may be structural. When mutations are related with the number of chromosomes, that is known as numerical mutation. When it is related to structure of chromosome, that is known as structural mutation. Numerical mutations are of two types, euploidy and aneuploidy. Fine, huh? Now try to understand what is the difference between euploidy and aneuploidy. Fine. Euploidy means it is a change in the number of chromosomal set. Here what I am writing, change in the number of chromosomal sets. Chromosomal sets. Fine. This is known as euploidy. Yes, euploidy means it is change in the number of chromosomal sets. For example, in case of diploid organism, there are two sets of genome. If a person has three sets of genome instead of two, that condition it is known as triploidy. If a person has four sets of genome, that is known as tetraploidy. So whenever increase in the number of chromosomal sets, that is known as euploidy. Whereas aneuploidy means what? Aneuploidy means number of chromosomes within a set. You will understand this once we will see the example. Aneuploidy means what? Aneuploidy means change in number of chromosome, change in the number of chromosomes within a set. Within a set means it is not related to whole genome. It may happen that one or two chromosomes are more or one or two chromosomes are less in the whole setup of genome. So that condition it is known as aneuploidy. If there is a doubling of entire set of genome, that is known as euploidy. Fine. Aneuploidy means change in the number of chromosomes within a chromosomal set. Whereas euploidy means change in the number of chromosomal sets. Fine. Now let's see first one, that is euploidy. Now euploidy, as I told you, if organism has only one set of genome, that we call it as a monoploidy. Yes. So it could be monoploidy. You can call it as a haploidy also. Sorry. If there is only one set of genome. If organism has two sets of genome, that is known as diploidy. So two sets of genome. Then more than two sets of genome, it is known as polyploidy. Yes, so polyploidy means what? If organism has more than two sets of genome, that is known as polyploidy. Now in that case, if organism has three sets of genome, that is known as triploidy. Or organism it is known as triploid, then tetraploid, then pentaploid, hexaploid, heptaploid and octaploid. Hexaploid and octaploid. If you are unable to see, just you mention about octaploid. So triploid, 3 sets of genome, tetraploid, 4 sets of genome, pentaploid, 5 sets of genomes, hexaploid, 6 sets of genome, heptaploid, 7 sets and octaploid, 8 sets. Fine here. So this condition it is known as polyploidy. Just try to understand why and how this condition it is increased. See, in case of plants, polyploids are common. Okay, polyploids result in increased size, increased productivity. Yes, wheat, cucumber, watermelon. Nowadays, most of the fruits and vegetables we eat, these are the polyploid plants. Fine. These polyploid plants can be artificially induced. Okay, some plants are there which are naturally found. Fine. Now of this, those organisms with even number of sets, okay, these are the fertile plants, can undergo normal reproduction and they can form the viable type of progeny. Whereas individuals with odd number of genome, like 3, 5, 7, okay, they are non-reproductive, these are sterile one, and they are not able to produce the progeny. Fine. So out of this, individuals with individual with even number of chromosomal set or even number of genome sets, okay, these are fertile, okay, can reproduce sexually, and can produce seeds. Fine. Now, individuals with odd number of genomic sets, these are sterile, can't reproduce sexually, so they cannot produce seeds. Fine. Polyploid. Okay. Now we will see very important part related to this. Fine. We can understand in nature haploid condition it is present, diploid condition it is also present. How can we induce the polyploid condition? Yes, sir. If you can remember last year while studying morphology, we came across one plant called Chikum, family Liliaceae. Yes, from the comb of that plant we obtain one mitotic poison. We call them as a colchicine. Yes, colchicine it acts as or it breaks the spindle fiber. Because of that, all the chromosomes they remain embedded in a single cell. So that result in the doubling of chromosomes, okay, or that result in the doubling of genetic material, and it then induces a polyploidy condition. So colchicine it is the most commonly used agent to induce the polyploidy. So it is used as a mitotic poison. It increases or it doubles the number of genes or number of chromosomes in a set. Fine. Now this euploidy it is again of two types. Autopolyploids, okay, fine, or based on that these polyploids usually we classify as autopolyploids and allopolyploids. See, this chart is very big, so I am not drawing at a time. One by one we will see. Right now we are discussing about euploidy. Once it will be done, then we will move toward aneuploidy. Fine, huh? Euploidy means what? Euploidy it is a change in the number of chromosomal sets. Fine, huh? So there may be haploidy condition, there may be diploidy condition, or there may be polyploidy condition. Fine. Now these polyploids they are of two types. Yes, polyploids. Yes, or polyploidy it can be of two types. First one it is known as autopolyploids, and second one it is known as allopolyploidy. You may get one more type that is known as allopolyploidy. Okay, it is a mixture of two. Once you will understand what is meant by autopolyploidy, allopolyploidy, then automatically you will understand allopolyploidy. It's too hot here. I'll just on the fan. Autopolyploidy and allopolyploidy. Fine. So autopolyploidy. Now we will see why they are called as autopolyploidy. Autopolyploidy means what? These are the polyploids which are formed by self-duplication. Means we are not hybridizing two plants in that. Fine. For example, there is a plant. Yes, Polyploid means what? Polyploidy, which is induced by self-duplication of chromosomes. Induced by, or it is done by, induced by self-duplication. Self-duplication of genome. Suppose there is a plant, yes, whose 2n number, say it is 14. Yes, and now that plant we want, okay, or we want to make that plant to hexaploid or octaploid. So what we do in that case? Suppose this has a genes like 14 number it is there. Now for this what we do? We give the treatment of colchicine. Okay, because of this cell become tetraploid. Fine. So that will be converted into, yes, tetraploid cell. So right now it is a diploid cell. Okay, that will be converted into tetraploid cell. Okay, so the condition where genes are double, chromosomes are double in a same species. Suppose there is the same plant, only one plant we are using. We are not hybridizing two different plants, and we are not increasing the genome of a plant by hybridizing two plants. No, we are using a single plant. In single plant, when we increase the number of cells, that is known as autopolyploidy. Fine. So where for this colchicine it is used, colchicine it is a mitotic or it is known as a mitotic poison because it breaks the spindle fibers so that all chromosomes or the duplicated chromosome will remain in the same cell. So that will double the number of genomic cells. So this is known as autopolyploidy. Now what is meant by allopolyploidy? The allopolyploidy condition, it is induced by hybridizing two different individuals. For example, there is a species A and there is a species B. In case of species A, the diploid number, say it is 12. Okay, haploid number will come, that is 6. And there is another species like species B where diploid number, say it is 10. Now whenever we do hybridization between these two plants, then it will result the tetraploid plant. Suppose this is the 2n is equal to 12, 2n is equal to 10. We have used diploid gametes only. So suppose gametes also we have used with genotype 12, and this also has. So here the tetraploid plant, okay, or the organism will produce, that organism will have, or that will result into a polyploidy condition that is known as allopolyploidy. See, just try to understand. In case of autopolyploidy, it is a self-duplication. Only one organism it is involved. For that colchicine treatment it is given, and that result into doubling of chromosome. In case of allopolyploidy, polyploidy it is induced by hybridization experiment. Two varieties, two species are hybridized, artificially hybridized obviously, and that will result into increased number of genomic cells. That is known as allopolyploidy. And as I told you, there is a third type also, that is known as autoallopolyploid. So in that what we are doing? First we do the hybridization experiment and then we give the colchicine treatment. Now which method to use, it depends upon your objective. These methods are more common in agriculture. So in agricultural, in plant breeding experiment, these techniques are regularly performed, but these techniques are rare in animals. Fine. So right now there are so many varieties. The wheat which we are regularly using, it is it is a yellow hexaploid. So that example also we will mention. The example of wheat or the wheat variety which we use, that is a triticale. It is a hybrid of two varieties. This one is the one variety of wheat and the another is of rye. So that is autoallopolyploid because both the methods are used in that. I hope hope you all have understood what is meant by autopolyploidy, allopolyploidy, and the third type, that is autoallopolyploidy, or whatever you can say, autoallopolyploidy. Here we use both the things, means we do hybridization between two plants also, as well as afterward we go for the colchicine treatment. So its common example, that is wheat, which we are using now. It is our triticale. First, it is hybridization between Triticum aestivum, crossed with rye, Cicale cereale, fine. So the variety which we got, okay, and after that, now this variety was sterile. After colchicine treatment, okay, we got the fertile variety, and this variety was fertile. Okay, so this is an example of autoallohexaploid. When we do both the methods, when we go for breeding, means for hybridization, which is followed by colchicine treatment. So in this way we can induce polyploidy. Watermelons, okay, these are polyploid plant, grapes, bananas, okay, nowadays most of the fruits which we eat, these are the polyploid. Because of this, it could result in the increase in the taste of fruit as well as the flesh content of a fruit. In some plant, it will help to produce the seedless fruits, like your grapes, your bananas, okay. So this is about euploidy. Fine. Euploidy means what? It is change in the number of chromosomal cells when mutation takes place in such a way that result in the doubling, tripling of the entire genomic set, that is known as euploidy. Fine. Now let's see what is meant by aneuploidy. Now aneuploidy means what? Aneuploidy, it is change in the number of chromosomes within a set. Sometime it may happen that, now this is the change which takes place in a normal diploid organism. The organism, it is diploid only, but it may have 1, 2 or 3 more or less chromosomes. So that is known as aneuploidy. So it is change in the number of chromosomes within a set. Fine. So aneuploidy, so it is a loss or addition of chromosome within a set. So loss or addition of chromosomes in a set. Now, depending whether chromosome it is added or whether it is deleted, aneuploidy is again of two types. So now I am explaining this part here. Aneuploidy. Okay. Hypoploidy, okay, or hypoaneuploidy and hyperaneuploidy. Hypoploidy, we call it as a hyperaneuploidy, hypoaneuploidy, and hypo meaning less, hyper meaning more. So whenever there is a loss in the number of chromosome, that is known as hypoaneuploidy, and whenever there is a gain in the number of chromosome, that is known as hyperaneuploidy. So hypoaneuploidy, this is the deletion or loss of chromosomes loss of chromosomes, whereas hyperaneuploidy, it is the addition of chromosomes. Fine. Now, hypoaneuploidy, it is generally of 3 to 4 types depending upon the condition. Now, let's see the first one. Monosomy. Monosomy. Now, monosomy means what? It is a loss of one chromosome. See, I am drawing here a simple cell where cell has 3 sets of genome. Okay, or we can say it has 3 pairs of chromosomes. Fine. So here 2n is equal to what? 2n is equal to 6. Just take an example of a cell in which cell has 6 chromosomes, that is 3 and or there are 3 pairs of chromosomes. Monosomy means what? Deletion of one chromosome. So one chromosome it is less. So whenever one chromosome it is deleted, then how it looks? Suppose the chromosome from first pair it got deleted. Now in a cell there are only 5 conditions, only 5 chromosomes. So this condition it is written as 2n minus 1. This is a normal diploid cell. One chromosome has lost. So now that condition is written as 2n minus 1. So monosomy means 2n minus 1. Why we are learning all these things now? After this, when we will see the disorder, we are going to study the aberrations, abnormalities, chromosomal abnormalities. That time we are going to use this word. What is meant by monosomy, aneuploidy, euploidy, fine. So monosomy means it is a loss of one chromosome. That condition it is written as 2n minus 1. Second condition, double monosomy. Monosomy, then double monosomy. Fine. Now double monosomy means what? Now here one chromosome has deleted. In case of double monosomy, what happened? 2 chromosomes are deleted belonging to 2 different chromosomal pairs. Yes, sir? From a cell, 2 chromosomes get deleted from 2 different chromosomal pairs. So how can we show this condition? Suppose this is a normal cell having 3 sets of chromosomes. 2 chromosomes are getting deleted. Suppose one from the first pair and the second from the second pair. So here now 2 chromosomes are deleted, but not from a same pair, from 2 different pairs. So this condition is written as 2n minus 1 minus 1. This is known as double monosomy. And third one, nullisomy. Nullisomy means whenever entire chromosomal pair gets deleted. Suppose this whole pair of chromosome got deleted, then this is known as nullisomy. This is more dangerous than these two, because in monosomy as well as double monosomy, at least one chromosome it is there. So expression will be little bit less than the normal one, but in case of nullisomy, it will cause a huge damage because whole homologous pair it's getting lost or deleted. That is known as nullisomy. This condition is written as 2n minus 2. Fine. So monosomy, double monosomy and nullisomy. Fine. These are 3 types of hypoaneuploidy. When there is a decrease or when number of chromosomes are less than the normal diploid condition. Now let's see the types of hyperaneuploidy. Same way, here there was a loss of chromosome. In case of hyperaneuploidy, there is an increase in the number of chromosomes. Fine. Now, when one chromosome it is extra than the normal complement, that is known as trisomy. So trisomy means what? one chromosome is extra. I think it will go out. I'll draw here. Trisomy. Okay. In case of trisomy, one pair has one extra chromosome. So here you can see in the first pair there is an additional chromosome. So this condition it is known as trisomy. This trisomy it is written as 2n plus 1. Fine, huh? Trisomy 2n plus 1. Next one, double trisomy. Double trisomy. Obviously, double trisomy means two chromosomes are extra, but in two different pairs. Means first pair will get one extra chromosome, second pair will also get one extra chromosome. So again, this can be written as 2n plus 1 plus 1. Okay, and the third type, that is tetrasomy. Tetrasomy means two chromosomes are added in a same pair. So there are 4 chromosomes in one pair and remaining 2 will have 2. So now this is written as 2n plus 2. Fine. These are the types of hyperaneuploidy. So hypoploidy or hypoaneuploidy and hyperaneuploidy. In case of hypoaneuploidy, this is loss in the number of chromosome. So it is of 3 types: monosomy, double monosomy and nullisomy. Whereas trisomy, double trisomy and tetrasomy, in which there is an addition of chromosome. So these are the types of hyperaneuploidy. Fine. Now what is the reason behind this? For euploidy, we know what is the reason. Okay. Now what is the reason for aneuploidy? For aneuploidy reason it is chromosomal non-disjunction. Very important statement on this question can be asked. The reason for aneuploidy, it is chromosomal non-disjunction. Now what do you mean by chromosomal non-disjunction? Chromosomal non-disjunction means it is a failure in the separation of chromosomes. We know that during anaphase, homologous chromosome they separate from each other. If there is any problem during the separation, it may happen that both the homologous chromosome may get pulled toward one pole and then one cell receive will not. Or it may happen that a part of it may get break in between, it may get deleted. So any failure during separation of chromosomes, that is known as chromosomal non-disjunction, and during meiotic division. So chromosomal non-disjunction, that is failure in separation of chromosome, failure in separation of chromosomes, failure in separation of chromosomes during meiosis. This is known as chromosomal non-disjunction. Some common examples of this: monosomy, when there is a less or one chromosome it is less. So its example we are going to see afterwards, that is the Turner syndrome. Okay, in that one sex chromosome it is less. Turner syndrome we are going to see. Example of trisomy, there is a Down syndrome, there is a Edwards syndrome, there is a Patau syndrome. So all this part, okay, different types of chromosomal abnormalities we are going to study later on. Fine. So this is hypoaneuploidy, hyperaneuploidy, types of aneuploidy. Fine. So today what we completed? We completed numerical chromosomal mutation, also called as heteroploidy. Heteroploidy, it is of 2 types, euploidy and aneuploidy. Euploidy, it is change in the number of chromosomal sets. Aneuploidy, it is change in the number of chromosome within cell. Euploidy, it is of 3 types usually: haploidy, diploidy and polyploidy. Polyploidy are again of 2 types, autopolyploid and allopolyploid, and third type also, that is autoallopolyploid. Fine. Then aneuploidy, hypoaneuploidy, hyperaneuploidy. To induce polyploidy condition we use colchicine, whereas for aneuploidy reason it is chromosomal non-disjunction, that is a failure in the separation of chromosome during meiosis. This is known as yes, chromosomal non-disjunction. So hypoaneuploidy and hyperaneuploidy, these are two types of yes, aneuploidy. Fine. Now the next part, that is structural or chromosomal aberrations. So that part we will see in the next class. Fine. So you just revise this. In the next class we will complete structural chromosomal aberration, gene mutations, what are the different types of mutations, as well as different types of mutagens. Fine.